All right. Welcome, everybody, to day 4 of the AI powered personal brand. So, just to recap what we've covered so far, on day 1, we talked about your brand system. And so that's basically saying, like, hey, how can you encapsulate the solution that you provide to the problem that you're addressing in a systematic process so that people understand what you do and how you do it. And this is going to make it a lot easier to sell. What I found with a lot of businesses, especially when you're talking about your solopreneurs or your consultants, any kind of service-based business, is that you tend to be custom solution oriented, where it's like, oh, well, I'll just get the lead and I'll figure out the solution and I'll come up with something new. And that's the exact way that you don't scale anything because it's too time intensive. You haven't focused enough on the problem and the target market, and therefore you're just going through custom, which it's a job, is what it ends up being. So what we're trying to do here is saying, okay, how do I turn my personal brand into a business? And you do that through systemization. So day 1, figure out the system. We talked about your brand vision. Day 2, we developed your brand pillars for your personal brand. The brand pillars, of course, we have the 9. We talked about your brand name, of course. And in that regards, the most important thing I said is buy the domain for your personal brand. So for your name. And if your name is, John Smith, then add in the middle initial, add in your middle name, or find the closest variation you can get, like get that domain. Anyways, and then we built, of course, your vision, your values, your customer avatar, all the key elements of what I found you have to have if you're going to make a successful campaign. Day 3, we got into content creation, and partly on day 2 too. We developed your strategy and and an article that's written genuinely by you, where we basically created a cloud project and then loaded it with all of our brand information, loaded it with past content that we have. And again, if you don't have content, I'm gonna just tell you the same thing I said yesterday. Just do a presentation. Do a Zoom meeting. We all do Zoom meetings. Do a presentation and then transcribe that presentation and then have AI analyze it for the style. And what you'll usually get is a very close approximation to how you would write. And this is excellent too if you don't really know how to write. Writing's hard, and there's nothing wrong with that these days because you have AI. You don't have to know how to write, but learn how to write. It's a good skill. Anyways, so we analyzed that. We loaded all of that information into Claude, and now we have essentially what I call a content engine, where it's a trained AI that could write anything that I want in my voice, and it uses a systematic process of structuring the articles that we were generating the consistency that we want in terms of how people consume the data. So did a bunch of stuff. So today we're going to talk about an actual campaign. And let's see, I still love to write copy. Oh yeah, I'm the same way, Axel. You can't, it's very enjoyable. And what I found is if you're a reader too, your actual style will evolve based on the type of literature you're reading, which is a little tricky sometimes because I actually start talking different based on the books that I'm reading. And if I'm reading kind of, I don't want to say a dumb book, but if it's like sloppy writing, I'll actually start speaking with smaller words and I'll start using more slang and that kind of stuff. I just finished watching the what was that? Serenity, the old sci-fi show, and it's basically like a Western. And I noticed myself like kind of addressing things like that, like in Western talk. It was pretty funny. Anyways, get your style. And this, just so you know, just even that does come back to your personal branding too. You need a style, and that's really what branding's all about. Because if you don't have a style, if people can't recognize what you do, looking at any piece of content that you create, then you have a weak brand. You haven't defined it enough. You haven't made it you. And if you're finding like, well, I did it all and I sound boring, it's like, time to get some hobbies, to get some friends, do some self-exploration and figure out who you are. Because as time moves forward and we continue to go into this crazy AI future, it's going to be very important that you define who you are and you maintain that consistency, because we're all going to have the same capabilities. Like, say whatever you want about I'm an expert marketer, and I'm an expert brander, and I'm an expert at AI. Doesn't matter. All skill sets have now been democratized when it comes to information. So none of that's going to make you special. What's going to make you special is how you address a problem and who you help with the problem. That's pretty much it. That's all we can do moving forward. So keep that in mind. And again, I addressed all these. So today, what I thought we'd do is we actually get into the performance marketing piece and get into networking. People buy you and peace of mind. Exactly. Yeah, Axel knows where it's at. Sometimes you look at a space and you're like, oh, that space is so saturated. There's no room for me here. There's no money for me here. It's like, there's money everywhere. It's fine. You just have to be consistent. And also that just comes down to niching. I'm gonna put a link to another one of our events that we did. It's called Riches in the Niches. I'm actually gonna pull some of the things from it. But if you really think like, hey, there's no room in this market, it means you haven't niched narrow enough. So I'm going to give you a link to this one. It's called Find the Riches in the Niches. Cute title. And it just goes through exactly what I'm talking about. I call it a micro niche. It's really just niching, but when everybody's heard the term niche, and then you're like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know what a niche is. And then you're like, okay, well tell me about your niche. And they're like, well, it's 25 to 55-year-old men and women in America that drive cars. And you're like, oh, that's nothing. You've defined nothing. A real niche you should be able to find as a person. You should be able to tell a story about them, the before and after, we all know. And if you can't do that, then you're going too broad. You're being scared of getting narrow, and you need to stop that. So take that course, Riches and Niches. It's a great one. And all of this is applicable. Just again, the things I'm describing now are not just for personal branding. You can use it for all aspects of marketing and branding, and that's what makes them powerful. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into, I'm going to choose the right GPT. If you're unfamiliar with the Academy, we've basically produced over 100 GPTs. And, the goal is really not to say like, this is the tool that everybody has to use. It's to give you an idea of how solutions are created. And so I mentioned that new cert I'm coming out with, solution design, where it's basically like, okay, let me go ahead and set my strategy. Let me identify the problems and the processes that I need to execute the strategy, and let me develop the AI tools to help me do it consistently. And now we're on the tool part. So whenever you look at any of these things, and this is why I teach the way I do versus forcing everybody, because I could embed all of my GPTs into the website and say, you got to log in and get the information there. But that's not really what I want to do. I'm trying to train people how to create these things themselves, because again, everybody's going to have the same capability. So if I try to, gate stuff that you're going to be able to develop yourself, you're just going to, give me one of these in a little bit, and then you're going to save some money by getting rid of the system. All right, so I'm going to share. So today we're working on kind of an old one. This is called the Performance Marketing Campaign Bot, and this is to create a full performance marketing campaign based on the AI branding framework. So you do need your brand pillars. So I'm going to pull those up. I'm going to pull up the one that I created. Let me see. I think I call it brand pillar demo for Mark or something. There it is. And so on this one, and this isn't my actual business, it's an SEO play. Basically, day one, we came up with this concept for the momented method for scaling. And this is my target market, funny enough, but I'm targeting it with a different product. And then we went through, we made a more detailed brand voice, and here's where we ended up on the second day, when we were actually the third day, we redefined the brand voice, but the second day we actually did the brand pillars themselves. So, sorry, I think I just gave you guys the gated link. Let me give you the direct link to the bot. Now, really quick, and this goes into the solution design that I'm always talking about. I'm going to show you how this is created. This is actually a pretty simple one. I think it was off of an older system. Now, what we do is we call these wizards, or wizard GPTs if it's asking questions. This is more of a manager GPT, but basically it just goes through and says, okay, I need a campaign, I need a coordinated plan, I need offers and funnels. It's kind of all inclusive, and it's a lot of information. But again, everything that we do is always starting with our brand pillars. So no matter how you use it, it's still going to be part of the system, because we built our brand pillars, and that's how most of them run. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I was thinking about that one. I'm like, I want to give you guys a newer one. Okay, we're gonna do the one that we did in the micro niche. Now, again, if you you could forget that one I just sent you. I was like, after I looked at it, I'm like, oh, that one's old. I want something a little bit more current. Use this one instead. Okay, so the micro niche marketing campaign creator, basically. It is giving you a 4 week campaign, and it's going through the three core elements that I've always used. The only element it doesn't go into, which is the networking element. If you do need business and you are selling a higher end product, like basically anything that's 5 figures, I would say you have to do networking. You can get clients doing the alternative methods, like actually farming the information online, but the amount of leads you're going to need is going to be exponential compared to you just talking to a group of 10, 20 people. Go to your chamber. If you don't like talking to people, too bad. You go into your referral marketing type stuff. And I do have systems for that, but let's just go with our standard saying, hey, you're getting started. This is kind of pre, and that's what we'll talk about on day 5 of this workshop is we'll talk about, okay, you've set up your brand, you've set up your content, you've launched your campaign so that when people look you up, you look active, you look like you got something going, and you have some systems in place to follow up with them. And then let's go on day 5. We're going to get into, okay, let's just go out and tell people about it. And then that's going to really accelerate your results. Because if you don't do the network component, it's going to be a slow haul. Okay, I need to make a micro niche marketing campaign. Awesome. Let's get started. What are your brand pillars and micro niche? The micro niche, we'll just say, is the customer avatar that we have in here. Not very specific. We do have a whole GPT for just the customer avatar. And just know if you're a professional, uh, if there's a GPT that's doing like a whole suite of information, oh, it just has everything. It's going to be relatively limited. It just has to be because the instructions that you could put into these are kind of limited. And the more you go on with these chats, they'll get more and more confused. So the more specific you get with your solutions in terms of GPTs, the better. Okay, so I'm gonna go put that there. Thanks. Based on what you share, here's a quick recap to make sure you're locked in or locked in before moving forward. Okay, confirm micro niche, growth stage, B2B companies, 2.5 to 10 million, looking to systematize SEO for scalable growth. Already generating solid revenue, ready to move beyond fragmented, outdated SEO tactics, and focused on turning organic traffic into a long-term growth engine. Core offer to promote the momentum method for scaling, a proprietary systemized SEO framework, blah 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 blah. And so, just so you know, the it knows all this information because it's in the brand pillars that I shared with it. Please confirm micro niche. Looks good. And that's another element. You could come up with a suite of services. You're probably going to fail. I'm just going to be straight with you guys. It's not going to work. If you go in there with like, and I know this because I've done it. Oh, I could do this and I could do that and I could do that. The more you talk about that, the more people just glaze over like, okay, well, I don't need any of that. And even if I did need that, I'd rather go with the specialist. I always compare it with doctors. Like if you're having heart issues, do you want to go to family doctor? Yeah, he or she will do a great job. Or do you want to go to the cardiovascular specialist of your city? It's like, yeah, it's not a comparison. So think in those terms, like people, how would you want to be treated? You'd want to go to the specific one. Okay. Question 2, based on your micro niche and offer, I recommend focusing your campaign on LinkedIn. I'm not a big fan of LinkedIn anymore, but hey, whatever. We'll listen to what the machine says. Because your audience, marketing leaders and founders at 2.5 to 10 million B2B companies is highly active on LinkedIn, especially when looking for systems, frameworks, and strategic partners. It's also ideal for publishing thought leadership and building trust through direct outreach, which is nice because yesterday we did talk about, doing your newsletter on LinkedIn, which we set up again in 10 minutes. Great way to get started. Okay, please confirm. Do you want to run the campaign on LinkedIn or would you prefer different platforms like Twitter, YouTube, emails only, or podcasting? Oh, podcasting. No, we're not going to set up a whole podcast brand. That was the last workshop. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm going to say LinkedIn and email because we do want to collect those emails. I'm going to show you how I do it today. But however you could get it. And honestly, if your whole thing on LinkedIn is just to push people into a consult, that's still going to collect emails because you could just send them to a Calendly link, you get the email, and now you can build your email list later if you want to do it like that. Okay, here's a 4 week specific marketing funnel tailored to your brand audience and platform selection. If you're wondering what a specific marketing funnel is, you go check out the framework section of the website. and you'll find it right here. Here's what the specific marketing funnel is. If you're familiar with digitalmarketer.com, this is similar to what I taught there, the customer value journey. The only thing I didn't like about the customer value journey is that the last two stages, I think, are more of a brand function than just a specific function. Because with the customer value journey, it's supposed to be product specific. And I was like, man, trying to make a product specific, like affiliate program or UGC campaign or blah 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 blah, it's pretty comprehensive. So most likely you're going to have some kind of like company wide program to handle that kind of stuff. Anyways, so I came up with the specific marketing funnel where you're just saying, okay, this is what you need to do for each product of yours. You need to get recognition. So what is it? You need interaction. Hey, let's go ahead and start chatting. Let me get your email. Let me do all that stuff. And you can see how it's a little bit different than customer value journey. Acquisition, we're talking, this is where you get the first sale. Education, this is where you basically indoctrinate your new customer. Elevation, of course, is getting them to buy more stuff or buy the actual thing. And then finally, retention is how do you keep them around? Like, what's the system to follow up? They bought, they've run through the indoctrination campaign, they bought again. Now what happens after that? It's retention. Okay, so this is essentially what this builds for you. Actually, I lost it. There it is. Okay, campaign name, momentum-driven SEO from traffic to scalable growth. Awareness, grab attention, 3 to 5 LinkedIn posts, send cold email one, optimize LinkedIn profile, interest, LinkedIn carousel. Actually, you know what? It didn't do all the things. I'm gonna have to check out this GPT. Okay. Actually, it's AIDA is what it generated. I must have given it options based on what the target market is, but let's go ahead and roll with it. Okay, interest, educate and show credibility, LinkedIn carousel on the momentum method framework, cold email number 2, launch lead magnet, why 7-figure brands outgrow traditional SEO, PDF or mini guide, desire, post SEO growth system, walkthrough video, email number 3, offer number 1, one discovery call or growth plan audit, and then finally action, LinkedIn DM outreach to engage commenters, reviewers, email, and post client quote testimonial. Now, if you're on LinkedIn, you've probably seen this happen a ton of times. It's exhausting, and I think it's kind of breaking the system on LinkedIn, which is why people aren't getting as good of results unless they're paying for them. Because I get this all the time where it's just like everybody who friends me is just like, and here's what I can offer you. I'm like, man, God, that's an exhausting like marketing technique. And most of the time it's odd to me. It's terrible. So try to be real when you're doing this, even if you are using LinkedIn. And what I recommend you do is you do what we did yesterday, which is create a newsletter, use that as your focus, and then work on the conversions from that. So how do you get people off of your LinkedIn, articles to a Calendly form? And that would be the non website. Ideally, you have a website. Like you have a website, develop a landing page, blah 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 blah. I'm not going to teach you how to do that here. So what I recommend you do is set up a Calendly and then link it to your individual articles and say, hey, if you want to learn more about the subject, go ahead and sign up for my free 20-minute consult on SEO in this case. There you go. Call to action. Looks good. Okay, let's log this in. Looks good. Excuse me. Awesome. You're fired. Now let's make the campaign. Question 4. Let's create a projection for your campaign results. All right. So now we're getting into some real marketing here. You could say what you want to achieve all day long, but if you haven't said, here's what I'm going to achieve or here's what I'm trying to achieve, you can't arrive if you've never set a destination. So we have to set a destination. So what it's suggesting here is, let's get some quick numbers. What is the monthly revenue currently for the momentum method? I'm going to say 0. It's new. 2 was the price of the offer you're promoting this campaign. I'm going to say 5K startup and 2,500 retainer. 3 average monthly website visitors in the last 3 months. Oh, that's interesting. Actually, I don't even know that. Probably not great because I haven't been focusing on my personal brand, but let's go ahead and check it out. Sport. All right, so there's 1,000 page views, so I'm just going to say 3,000. And just so you know, I regret not focusing more attention over the last 12 months on my personal brand. I was building the academy, focusing 100% of my time there. I let my personal brand go, and now I'm having to go back and recover it, hence this workshop. Okay, retainer three, I'm going to say 3,000 views. And for desired revenue for this campaign, what's your financial goal for the next 30 days from this funnel? And I'm going to say I want to get two new clients. That's going to be 10,000 bucks. And again, set the intention. The what you're probably going to think about doing is, oh, we'll see how it goes. It's like, no, just say, I'm going to lock this down. Like, set it up. It's the only way it's going to happen. Nothing happens by accident. And if it does happen by accident, that was just luck because you didn't set the intention out there. Okay, you're targeting two new clients, which would generate 10,000 month one, and recurring revenue would be 5,000 a month. Not bad. Okay, objective summary, desired clients, target revenue, website traffic that you'll need, estimated opt-in rate 3 to 5%, discovery call conversion rate 20 to 25%. When you're seeing these statistics on our GPTs, it means that we had the AI research your industry, your offer, and then make an estimate based on industry standards. That's a typical. It does help having the monthly visitors to help estimate how many you'll need to start getting this. So here's a conversion rate. Lead magnet opt-ins, we need 4%. Discovery call books, we're going to need 15%, and clients closed, we're going to need 11 to 12%. So these are the numbers. This is what I have to hit. You could just, talk about this all day long, but if you're not tracking it, you're not going to be able to achieve it. And for that, I'm going to give you our performance dashboard. There we go. And this is, again, what we do is we try to track three core metrics, and these are related, again, to the funnels that we set up: subscriptions, conversions, the first time sales, and ascensions. So ascensions are, the next sale. That's it. If you just track these three stats, you forget about everything else. You're going to be better than like a lot, a lot of other marketers because nobody tracks this. Now, typically what we do is we track by week. And then you have just the normal stats. Owner, this is more about management. If it's just you, it's going to be you. And then I recommend that you start to link the sources. And this will make it a lot easier to actually pull these statistics because otherwise you're going to be spending a bunch of time to do it. I'm sure there's going to be an AI tool for this. So this is a temporary solution, but still do it. And I've seen, again, I've worked at some pretty large companies and even they have trouble, tracking their stats. They'll spend tens of thousands a month on pulling data. And a lot of times they have these redundant systems and they still don't know what's up, which is why I came up with the three metric methodology because it just makes everything easier. Okay. So here we go. And this is basically you pull up whatever you want and then you just grab the statistic and go from there. And then you could just plug it in here and you go week by week. And again, you can market the status. Again, you've probably seen this on Digital Marketer. And this just allows you to look at the sheet and be like, where am I at? How is it going? And it will tell you. And again, I do have some analysis tools using custom GPTs for this information to make it easier to understand. Because if you're not familiar with metrics, you might be like, I don't know what any of this means. What does this mean? You could literally just pull the data, dump it into ChatGPT, and say, hey, tell me what this means. Where should I focus today to improve my conversion rate? Oh, beep boop boop. There you go. You need to focus on acquisition. You're not getting enough traffic to the website. So go ahead and get more of that. Post more often. Okay, so let's see. Quick notes. You already had enough traffic to hit your goal. The key will be type messaging, targeted LinkedIn email delivery, and compelling lead magnets. You only need to convert 0.06% of monthly visitors into paying clients. Super doable with the right funnel. There you go. And this is the information that I like to get from AI because instead of you thinking about it like, oh, I hope I get this much, I hope this happens, it gives you a legit answer like, try to do this, and you will succeed. So ready to move forward with this objective? I'm going to say yes. Let's go. You're fully set up for a powerful hyper targeted micro niche marketing campaign. Brand and offer, micro niche platforms, campaign funnel, traffic available, target outcome, campaign name, and there you go. All right. So now it'll go to the next step. So it's actually going to help us build whatever we need. Now, the biggest thing you could do, I think, is still a lead magnet. For the academy, we've had really good luck with our brand assessment and with our 28-day AI challenge for marketers. And I'll go ahead and show you. You should just join it if you're interested in running something similar. It is the way I did it is a ton of work because I'm actually developing like 28 videos. But it's working, and I'm getting quite a bit of traffic from YouTube. So if you want to get that, that's about keeping. What did you say? Keeping the romance going and getting referrals more than don't you want a t-shirt? It's a good call. And that's where you'll have to figure this out because the thing about, marketing, especially your personal brand, it's something that's constant and something that might not pay off for a bit. Because if you have kind of a core business or a job, it's going to take you a while to build up momentum, figure out your own thing. But the only way you're going to get it done is if you plan it out. If you say, I'm going to do this, which is one of the reasons why I did the 28-day challenge, because I was like, okay, I said 28 days. I said it was going to be daily. I'm going to have to now execute on it. If you're already part of the website, you'll just go to challenges and there we go. Boom, done. Okay. Grab this. All right. So you do need, that acquisition. I would say, what we talked, I'm just going to stay in line with what we've already done, where yesterday we actually developed a LinkedIn newsletter. And I'd say I'd use the subscribers to the newsletter as your, kind of recognition mechanism. So I think I called it the future of branding and AI. Why it just doesn't pop up? Let me get such a pain in the butt to find this stuff again. Go back. Nope. Oh, that was a video I created. Sorry. I just want to see my newsletter. Oh, here it is. The future of branding and AI. I looked up exactly. It still didn't pop up. Oh my gosh, look at this. So here's my proof of concept. I just started this yesterday or the day before, might have been yesterday, to kind of show you guys how to produce the newsletter. I already have 336 subscribers. So just so you know, when you start to target information, it could actually pay off like really, really easy. In this case, I got 336 subscribers in a day, and all I did was publish one article. Um, and look at it, I got some engagement, got some comments, really, really easy. And I wrote this with our Claude project. So if you're wondering like, wow, how do I do this? Like just watch it was an hour long. You could do this in an hour. So now we have this. Now I didn't have any way to convert this into the next stage, right? Like I want to basically take this and then get into a consult. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to show you how to do that using Calendly, and then we're going to modify the existing article. And if we have time, we probably don't have time. I'll actually produce the second article in the series. We have time. I'm going to bust it out. All right. So let's go into Calendly. Okay, so you can see I manage a lot of different, things. Make sure you have all your scheduling data in here because as you add these on, you may be overlapping something that already has a time, and you want to make sure they're talking to each other. So just make sure you went through the setup process for Calendly and make sure it's integrated with your primary calendar. For me, I use just the Apple Calendar and then the Google Calendar, so it's all part of my phone. But just make sure you do that. Otherwise, you're going to be overlapping stuff. And the worst thing you could do is miss a consult call because that's your one opportunity to establish yourself. So I do have a 30-minute AI business consultation. I'm going to go ahead and use this, but I'll go and show you how I set it up. So I just did 30 minutes. I'd say 20 to 30 minutes is good for a consult. Once you start getting into an hour, what will happen is you'll have window shoppers that are basically just trying to probably rip off what you're doing and see if like they can just make it themselves. But if you go 30 minutes, it's enough to give like established credibility. You get the information that you need, and now, okay, this is worth it. We should work together. Plus, it doesn't take up your whole day because depending on how you do this, it might not even be worth it. Okay, so here's my event details, 30 minutes. Find out how AI can improve your operation by enhancing your existing protocols. I would probably modify this well, I do two things. I'd have one general one, so this is my general AI business consulting. I duplicate this and I call it what the specific thing that relates to the content that you're generating. So I probably call it AI or branding and AI consultation. Okay, easy. Or even just branding consultation, that's fine. Give it a little description. You don't have to do a ton. If you want to say qualifications, I could put my target market. Like this is specifically for businesses that are 2 to 10 million. If that's not you, I recommend you go check, subscribe to my blog. Once you make more money, maybe we could work together. Sounds offensive because you're like, oh, you're not rich enough to use me. No, you're saving your time, you're respecting yourself, and you've qualified the market. You said this is your target market, so don't be a wimp. Just get it done. Okay, hosts and invites. That's pretty standard. A lot of these are just the standard setting. I do a 60-day calendar. Stuff might come up. What I usually do is this 9:30 to 2:30 is time I know I have available because I might have to drop off my son some days, might have to pick up my son some days. So this is the window that I have where I know I'm going to be here. Really think about that. Don't leave yourself, oh, I'm wide open. Actually, it looks bad when people come to your calendar too, and it's like, oh, look, you could choose anytime, any day. Most of the time when I see that, I'm like, oh, you're not busy. I, I don't know if I want to use you. You're not busy. Sounds counterintuitive because you think like, oh, you get access to the professional. That's not how it works. People have their perception of what they expect somebody that's selling this thing to act. So act accordingly. Okay, booking page, AI consultation. Again, you could add some qualifications. What's your business name? What's your business website? Because once they submit this, you could then run an analysis prior to the meeting. And using AI, this analysis might take you 5 seconds. We have our brand assessment. I could run one of those in 1 minute. And so if I say, okay, I'm going to have a call with Bob, got his website, let me go ahead and run a quick assessment. And now I have a bunch of information about how he can improve his brand. And we haven't even had a discussion yet. I don't even know anything about him. And now I have a pile of data. So whatever you want to do there, I would probably just say like their LinkedIn profile or maybe just their company website. Like what brand is this concerning? And then now you're already on the right track and you haven't even done anything yet. Okay, booking page options, notification workflows, and that's pretty much it. I would make sure you name these properly. And I think you got there. No, copied. Event details. There you go. Make sure that's named properly so that you recognize it on the screen. So was a question. That's insane. The 336. Yeah, I'm shocked too. I'm like, oh, that was easy. All right. So now let's pretend that I made this specifically for this. I now need a banner. Banners are somewhat effective, but no banners and no call to action is not effective. What I might also do here, and actually I'll show you a couple different ways you can optimize this. I'm going to go to edit article. You might want to do call outs within the article itself. And so let's say like, oh, I really want people to know that I could do this consult for them. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to add a line. Let me do a little horizontal line there, separate the space, go down, and I'm going to say, um, interested in an AI brand consult, click here. And then I'm going to go down another line. I'm going to create a line there. Let me go ahead and make this a subheading. It's not pretty. Oh, actually, you can't do a subheading because I want to center it. Oh, can you not center it here? Freaking so dumb. Why would they allow all these different capabilities for formatting? They don't do that. Okay, whatever. We're gonna have it look all sloppy, but we'll go ahead and bold it. You could just make it longer so that fills up more space. So interesting brand consult. I'll assess your brand, give you instant insights. Dot dot dot. Click here. Okay. So it makes it a little bit more obvious. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go ahead and copy link to my AI business consultation. And I'm going to link it. Voila. All right. I just optimized my article. I'm going to do more, but that's all it takes. Like, don't overthink this. You don't have to make it all do. And sometimes banner ads actually perform worse than, say, a hyperlink like this. Ideally, and actually we found this out at Digital Marketer, The thing that people click on more than anything is a button. So if we could put a button in here, you could just put a button and say free consult, put nothing else, and you'd be shocked at how many people click something like that because they're like, oh, that's an action item. I like action items. I'm going there. Okay, there you go. Okay. So your next steps, I do talk about this, next article in the series, blah, 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 rateability brand implementation. Let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and hyperlink let's get started as well just because that makes it easy. And then I'm also going to put a banner. So let's go ahead and design a quick banner. I'm going to give you my hack if you don't know what you should do based on your brand pillars. All I would do is come in here. I'm going to say free consult banner in Canva. Now I'm going to look down here and I'm going to see what it is. Now, my brand colors are my personal brand colors, the same as AI Brand Academy. I did that on purpose so people, make the connection without me having to say anything. So I'm just going to say blue. I'm going to add in one of my brand colors. All right, there we go. Ooh, I like this one. That one looks pretty cool. But let's say like I'm not a designer. Oh, what should I do? Okay, well let's use some AI to figure out the problem. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Oh no, don't click on that. Let's see if I can zoom out, zoom out. Okay, so I don't know which one of these goes best with my brand. Let's say that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screenshot this. Again, this is my creative hack. So I screenshot that. I'm going to come into ChatGPT. I'm going to grab my brand pillars, copy that, and I'm going to say, please analyze my brand pillars and tell me which of the following banners fit best with my branding and target market. All right, I'm going to paste that. I'm going to upload my screenshot. Shots. And go. So let's see if it does the one that I want, which is that guy standing there. Oh, I'm a professional. All right. Based on your positioning as a high level strategic SEO advisor for growth stage companies, here's an analysis of which of the banner styles in the image best match your brand tone and audience. Top three banner matches for your brand. Let data lead the way. Clean, modern, minimalist, corporate blue palette, slightly tech oriented. So let's go and see if we can say that. Let's say, let data lead the way. I don't know which one that is. Let data. Usually it tells you where. Actually, I'm going to ask that. Leave this open too. Do not navigate away from this page. Otherwise, the recommendation won't be easy to find like it isn't right now. I'm going to say, please, where is the first recommendation on the picture? That usually says like third row, two from the left, middle row, far right, just left of the brown banner. So middle row, far right, or left of the brown banner. Let data lead the way. Oh, there you go. Okay. So it said that. You just can't search by it. Let data lead the way. I don't like it. I think it's kind of boring. Whatever. I do like how it's animated though. So let's go ahead and see if we can do that. So I'm going to customize my template. And let's see. Visual and trust. Let data lead the way. Create studio. And I think it usually gives you information. Yeah, well, and you should definitely analyze this because it gives you a ton of information about like how different elements could relate to your brand. And now, even as somebody who's not a creative, you could get that information. All right. So I'm going to say I'll go with that one. I need to replace the copy with information about my free 30-minute consults concerning branding and AI. What should I write? And you might say, like, this is lazy. I should blah, 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 blah. Do the work. I don't care. Really, if you're spending all this time, like, this might be a bomb. Like, you're just testing crap right now. Don't overthink it. So I'm gonna go and put that in there. Vanity plus AI, your next growth engine. Yeah, that sounds good to me. We could put growth. We could put a different color. We're going to use our yellow. Your next growth engine. You should know your brand fonts, of course. Let me come in here. I'm going to go to my Barlow font. And again, as you do this stuff, like it'll just get easier and easier where like you're going to do this stuff without even thinking about it. Now, I do want to put my logo because consultation, who we are, blah, 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 blah. Oh, look, there's a whole bunch of stuff in there. I really just want the first page though. So we'll probably just do a screenshot because I'm super lazy. All right. It's consultation. I'm going to say schedule consultation, schedule a consultation. Again, I want all my fonts to match. So I'm going to go Barlow regular on that one. All right, we're looking pretty good. Now I do want to put my logo in there. So in Canva, you can't set up a brand. So in this case, I have Mark Images. Let me see if I put. Oh, there it is. There's my logo. Show you a little trick here. Let's say I put this black one. Oh no, I want it to be white. I think white would look better. So how do I do that in Canva? All right, here's what you do. You say edit. It does have to be a transparent image. So if you try to do this with a not transparent image, it's not going to work. But you just go duotone, pick any color, and then turn both of the colors into white. Voila, I just did some cool graphic design. All right, this is looking good enough. I'm going to go ahead and screenshot this. It's LinkedIn, and I don't give a crap about how much it costs for them to load my big fat images that should be optimized. Also, they'll probably just do it for me, so who cares? There you go. Add image, screenshots. Next. I was going to animate it, but you know, you guys get the idea. And let me go and hyperlink that. Come back into my Calendly. Copy link. And go back into LinkedIn. Paste. Add. Next. Voila. I'm not going to add a caption because I want this to look like a banner. Honestly, I wouldn't have chosen this. I would have done something fancier, but I kind of like this because if you're reading an article like, oh, hey, here's how to, do your AI budget and blah, blah, blah. That's pretty neat. It's pretty informative. I like it. And then you get to the end of it and there's this big obnoxious branding plus AI equals your next growth engine. All right. Well, I'm interested. Let me go ahead and click that. Who knows? I might have a bunch of consults next week just because was doing a demonstration of this. Now, I would say if you're getting started, try to hit an everyday article. I'm out of time right now, but try to hit an article every day. And I'm going to show you, well, let me just show you really quick how I would do that very quickly. Again, this is something we set up yesterday, so go and check out the previous day. Projects, Mark DeGrasse, article writer demo. Don't know what that is. And here is our article from yesterday. Voila. And I think we actually generated the list of articles in here as well. Why particularly? Oh no, you know what? We did ChatGPT for this. So anyway, check out the previous day. We actually already outlined the entire content series, which is what we're doing here. So I'll basically just go on every day and I'll just do exactly what we did yesterday. I'll generate the article, I'll optimize it, I'll use Midjourney to create the images. Oh, and just so you know, I figured out how to use that new Midjourney tool. So here's the original image, and I want a secondary image. So it's the same character sitting at a desk. Super easy using Midjourney. So I'm going to show you that really quick just because it was a ton of fun. Sorry, I'm still dying of allergies. Okay, so in create, so here's the secondary image that I made. When I first made it, it changed the style of the image, and the way I got around that was by duplicating the original prompt and then adding in these two images as the character reference and the style reference. So if I want to say I want to do this again, I want a picture of him, say shaking hands with a client. Let's say we want to create that. What I'd do is I'd actually duplicate this. So this is the original um, thing. I have my character reference. So I'm going to go and drag this into style reference and character reference. And then I'm going to leave a lot of this the same. I just want him to be doing something different, right? So a sleek modern office space, confident business manager in the 30s, 40s stands at a glass whiteboard, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to say 30s or 40s. And I'm going to get rid of all that. I'm just going to say shaking hands with a happy new client. Give it a second. And this is probably the best I've ever seen Midjourney do this. And I've used the kind of technical aspect on Discord with the sref, and how much it should be. He's shaking his own hand. Know yourself. That's probably how I would do that. Man, sometimes AI fails so hard, and you're just like, this is, why is everybody so excited about this stupid thing? So let me try it again. I'm gonna go in here, shaking hands with a happy new client. That's a different person. Don't be afraid to go literal with AI because sometimes it just does dumb crap, and you're just like, whatever, AI, just do your
That's
best.
one of the deeper, funnier goofs I've seen in a hot minute, though, Mark. That's a
It,
good
it does
one.
it over and over again. It's just like,
Get
why
to
would
know
it do that?
yourself. Oh yeah, and hopefully the memory's improved a little bit with the updates that came out this week too. I get
Who
frustrated having
knows?
to tell it the same thing like 12 times. Like, ugh.
Yeah, y'all. So you know what I do is my workaround is usually to just accept that it's being stupid, and I'll just create an image where it doesn't involve another person. So I'm going to say again, confident business. It is doing the character right, like it does look like the similar character. But what I'll do here, let me go load the image again, style reference, character reference. And I'm just going to have a scene where it doesn't require another person. So I'm going to say, looking over a modern city with a smile on his face.
Could you try like of my ideal client? I mean, because that kind of
Ah,
like then there needs to be a different other person.
maybe. Well, that's how I
I,
started. I said a client, but it's like it's just taking the information and just doing it. Well, it's funny that Crea, which is another one that I'll use, does the exact same thing. We'll just replace everybody with the one character. So it's a little different. It's good enough. Really, what you're doing with this is it's not like, hey, I need to illustrate a ton of stuff. You're just breaking up content, and honestly, you're just branding the article better. Because now it doesn't look like, hey, Mark must have spent 5 minutes writing this article, which is what I actually did. It looks like I spent time. I generated this unique artwork with a centralized character, and he's doing all these different things. So now it looks more professional. So I'm going to go ahead and grab. He looks pretty satisfied with himself here. Looking good. This guy reminds me of Dustin Lean, my old marketing manager, digital marketer. Okay, let me come in here. And now I'm just going to add one more. Add an article. And this is how I recommend, optimizing your article, especially for your website. Like break up that content. Like don't leave it, all chunky and hard to read. People like pictures, and there's nothing wrong with that. There we go. And also, I would put an alt tag in there. And the alt tag, most of the time, you don't have to overthink. You can, of course, ask AI for it. But you could just grab a little bit of copy, and then I'm going to do my alt. This again is just SEO optimization. Add next. There you go. Now what'll happen is now this one picture is optimized for another SEO term, however they want to see that information. So we got this. I got my first call to action right here. Sneaky. Then I got another picture. Got happy guy, just landed a new client. And then I have my obnoxious banner that looks great. And that's pretty much it. And now people could schedule an AI consultation. We'll see. We'll see on Monday if I land a bunch of consults. Then the system works. But that's pretty much it for today. So hopefully that was helpful. Again, don't overthink this, especially if you're launching a new product. And this is something, again, I tell you guys a lot of stuff that I fail at constantly. Don't overthink it. Just get the thing up and see if it resonates. Obviously, this worked because I got 336 new subscribers in a day. And all I did was produce one article that took me 1 hour to produce and optimize and post online. Like that's how fast you could get results. So obviously there might be a market here. So now I'm just going to go ahead and go on and keep on posting some new articles, and I'll analyze the stats next week and I'll say, okay, what did this do for me? How much traffic did I get? How many consults did I get? If I keep on doing this, what's the potential, what's the potential to get something? But that's it. All right, guys. So we're going to have the last session of this on Monday. Monday, we're going to do less of the, let's do stuff and more of just the strategizing, how to approach people at events. So we'll call this like in-person networking. But now when people they'll look me up. They'll be like, oh yeah, I just talked to a guy about AI branding, and now I look at his LinkedIn profile. It's all about AI branding. Wow, he's obviously been doing this for a while. So it doesn't. That's all it takes. Don't worry about. I need to show proof of this. It's like, no, get it out there. You'll find out.